we'll monitor them just the same. If they had access to the Devil's House, I doubt they were sent there by some health organization. Cypher used them, and would have eliminated them eventually. But we'll protect them here. They've agreed to that. But boss, they've been behind the curtains at Ngamba. They examine the patients there nearly every day. They told us the patients were being made to listen to voices on tape. But the male target added something interesting. He said he doesn't know what was on the tapes because there was no English version. Of all the voices that were shoved down those people's throats, English wasn't one of them. Boss, staying on the battlefield that long will have a negative impact on your health. Why not head back to Mother Base for a shower once in a while?
The boss is back. Let's go refuel and load up on artillery.
We're good to go, Chief.
What's the matter?
Stop this! Now!
What the fuck, you freak?
Give me a hand!
Hold her still. Dismissed.
Payback for how they treated her?
Doesn't explain the others. She had every chance to kill them. Tight security on her cell. This happens a second time. There won't be a third.
Boss, about Eli. I'd heard that one product of the Les Enfants Terribles project went missing in Africa. The age would be about right. Now, I'm not saying I think it's Eli, but I want to run a genetic test all the same. Don't worry, I'll have it done without him noticing. The test may take some time, but I'll tell you as soon as we have the results.
Welcome back, boss.
Hey, how those kids doing?
Honestly, I'm not too sure, but I don't think they love it here, but they seem to have accepted it.
I figured as much.
They've lost their families to war. Militias abduct them and force them to fight. They've got an attitude. Not that hard.
Right. I just wish there was something else we could do for them.
Yeah. Not exactly the best role models, huh? Boss, how about a mock battle? What's up, boss?
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Mission objectives are to extract the child soldier's commander and their captive, the General's number 2. This child soldier platoon decided to break away from the Mbeli militants. They took the number 2 captive and have occupied an abandoned village. Start by checking that location on your map. Boss, the child soldiers will treat you as an enemy, but they're just kids. See that they don't get hurt.
Be careful down there, boss.
best conducted from high vantage points. I've marked a good spot on your map. Take a look at your iDroid. General's brother, his number 2. Get him out of there, boss. Another group of child soldiers? No, must be a squad they had out on patrol. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself. Boss, another child soldier has entered the village. Must have been out on patrol. Looks like they had more than one patrol out. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself.
Usadiso. Usadiso, mama. Nge. Ketinge. We. Pangia. General.
That's the target prisoner. He's injured. Looks half-starved, too. There's no way he can stand the shock of a Fulton extraction. Get him out by chopper.
Pangi ya General ya Bakala.
Roger.
Mosi, tata ya Bankaka na Mono. Telaka Mono, Mambu General Saraka. Bantu ya Buta, Tiyambele, Ketinkaka Mosi, Beto Nyonso, Kebampangi, Atampidina, Yayi Kentango, ya kuvutoka Diaka, ni Mafe, Menga, Kekilo, Kutampasa.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Nambi Kekilo.
This is B-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
All that's left is to extract the commander. Nice work. Keep it up. Roger.
Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequot. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone. That's it. You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. You gonna extract him? Mission complete, boss. Boss. About how we report this one to the client. I'll tell them we took heavy resistance from the renegade platoon and the hostage was killed in the firefight. Also, their leader wouldn't let himself be taken alive. I doubt the client will pay us for this one, but we got a big enough reward from the General's #2 instead. And as for the #2, he's saying he wants to join Diamond Dogs. I guess he knows what that means for him. He said, if I'm working for you, I can be #2 or #200 for all I care. Boss, we have an emergency. Many of our staff are falling ill. At first it seemed like a common cold, but before we knew it, blisters started popping up on their chests and... Damn it. I'll fill you in at the ACC. Just get in the chopper. Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a spargatum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop. Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa. Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties. But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the incubation period, we have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they go symptomatic and quarantine them. That'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection. From now on, if you even suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid. I'll explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management. First, take a look at the quarantine facility we've set up. We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. But there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cypher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you. Boss, a new job's come in. It's a hit. I'm the human trafficker who sent Shivani and the others to Nzoya Badia Bulu, where you ran into Skullface. The thing is, this guy might know something about the disease that's going around Mother Base. The symptoms are similar to the ones we saw at that factory. Start by checking the mission details on your iDroid. PF logistics officer who works as a human trafficker on the side. The client wants him dead. He's currently on the run somewhere on the savannah with bodyguards. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Ditati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. Find the route. Find the man.
Be careful down there, boss.
Abandoned village. That's where the enemy PF's coded transmission came from. There's got to be a transmitter there somewhere. It could have the intel file containing the encryption key. Look for an antenna.
Lusa disso!
Where are your friends?
A prisoner. He might have some information. If you extract him, we'll see what he knows.
Alles geht dort!
Hey, quit kidding around. Snake?
Boss, the target is moving across the savannah. Find him and eliminate him. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. Find the route. Find the man. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Ditati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. You made it to the Ditati abandoned village. That's where the enemy PF's coded transmission came from. There's got to be a transmitter there somewhere. It could have the intel file containing the encryption key. Look for an antenna.
Where are your friends?
Coming too. Roger that.
Speak.
A prisoner. He might have some information. If you extract him, we'll see what he knows.
Ciebie! Naszego rok! Mogę pana!
Lucian, was verkeerd! Kom maar zo, Lucian! Wat is de situatie? Alle eenheden, staan bij!
Fire!
You gotta extract him.
Dat zit weer, begrijp. 20 bij een sniper in, pas op uit!
Ciebie, dat stelt de 6. Beloon en passing van onze troepen kunnen aangetrekken. Ons het waarschijnlijk aan uitdagen. Vergeet de instructie.
Picked up an intel file, huh? According to this information, the target is headed for Gazeba camp. We also have his movement route. I've updated your map. Use the target's route to locate him.
Spit it out.
Eliminating him will be much harder if he makes it to the Gazeba camp. Take him down on the savannah.
Ciebie, dat is 6. Vijandige scouts verloren. Blijf gereden. Over.
Er is hier, begrijp. Blijf op je hoede, uit!
He's coming too. Roger that. You gotta extract him.
Ciebie, dat is hier. Iemand is pas met de ballon weggebrekt. Waarschijnlijk een indringer. Blijf stand alsjeblieft. Over.
Er is hier, begrijp. Alle er zit hier. Het wordt aangevallen. Alle eenheden beschermen jouw posities.
Boss, that prisoner you extracted was a civilian abducted by the target. He says the trafficker is trying to make contact with a human rights NGO. He hopes that by handing over his list of buyers, they'll guarantee his safety. I don't get it. Why an NGO? Why rent to someone else for help?
Sambunagi.
Okay, subject is in.
Face. Waar? Hoe kom?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Subject is in. Getting away. Don't let him make it to that outpost. Hurry! We'll let the client know he's been dealt with. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land. Sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. All right, mission complete, boss. Our trafficker was very talkative. Guinea pigs. That's what became of his kidnapped victims. Says he got a good look at that factory at Zoya Badiabulu when he dropped off some fresh guinea pigs for them. along with our man without a face. His instincts told him to run like the rat he is. Said it wasn't worth the money. Figured he could be next. That's when he went to the NGO for help. He thought that in exchange for his buyer's list, they could set him up with a new identity someplace far away. He had an idea who he was up against, and he didn't want to take any chances. A true rat. But like us dogs, he knew when he smelled trouble. And something else. He said the specimens come from deep in the forest. We don't know what he meant by specimens just yet, but those guinea pig symptoms match what we've seen on the infected at Mother Base. Deep in the forest. Maybe there's the clue we need to beat this infection. Boss, the truth could be right around the corner. Boss, we finally heard from one of our missing intel team members. He says he has a solid lead on the epidemic at Mother Base. Take a look at the mission details ASAP.